In a small, forgotten village nestled deep within the woods, there stood an old mansion that loomed like a specter over the landscape. The townsfolk avoided it like the plague, for they believed it was cursed by a malevolent force that had taken residence within its decaying walls. Legends spoke of a family, the Harrows, who had lived there centuries ago, dabbling in dark arts and sealing their fate in a pact with the unknown. As the story goes, the Harrows were practitioners of forbidden rituals that granted them unimaginable power. However, their insatiable greed led them to seek an even greater source of dark energy. In their pursuit, they summoned a being so malevolent that its very presence twisted the mansion into a grotesque reflection of its former self. The villagers recounted tales of mysterious disappearances, eerie whispers, and ghastly apparitions that haunted the mansion. The air around it seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy that sent shivers down the spines of those brave enough to venture near. The once grand estate was now a crumbling fortress of despair, its windows shattered, and its halls echoing with the tormented cries of the Harrows, forever trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. One fateful night, a group of foolhardy youths decided to challenge the legend. Drawn by the allure of the unknown and fueled by their youthful bravado, they gathered in secret to embark on a journey to the accursed mansion. Each step toward the looming structure felt like a descent into the abyss, and the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence. As they crossed the threshold, the temperature dropped, and a sinister fog enveloped them. The mansion seemed to come alive, its creaking floors and moaning walls echoing the tormented souls that lingered within. The group pressed on, guided by the dim glow of flickering candlelight that led them deeper into the heart of darkness. In the ballroom, where the Harrows once hosted lavish gatherings, the group felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles. In the pitch darkness, a haunting melody played, echoing through the desolate halls. The intruders were paralyzed with fear as ghastly figures materialized, dancing to the macabre tune. Whispers echoed in the shadows, revealing the tragic tale of the Harrow family and the unspeakable horrors they had unleashed. The group felt an unseen force pulling them into the walls, each step more laborious than the last. Faces of the past contorted in agony stared at them from every corner, and the air vibrated with the anguished wails of the tormented souls. As the group approached the heart of the mansion, they discovered an ancient chamber where the Harrows had conducted their darkest rituals. Symbols etched in blood adorned the walls, and an ominous presence lurked in the shadows. It was then that they understood the true horror of their predicament. They had become entangled in the malevolent force that had consumed the Harrows. In a desperate attempt to escape, the group retraced their steps through the labyrinthine halls, pursued by a relentless darkness that sought to claim their souls. The once silent walls echoed with demonic laughter, and the mansion seemed to pulse with an insatiable hunger for the living. As the first rays of dawn broke through the decaying windows, the survivors stumbled out of the mansion, their faces etched with terror. The mansion, now silent and still, seemed to exhale a sigh of resignation. The cursed Harrow mansion had claimed another group of unsuspecting souls, forever binding them to its malevolent history. And so, the legend persists, whispered in hushed tones by those who dare speak of the haunted mansion and the unfortunate souls who crossed its threshold. The Harrow mansion stands as a testament to the darkness that lurks in the forgotten corners of the world, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed. So, my friends, beware the allure of the unknown, for the Harrow mansion awaits those foolish enough to seek its forbidden secrets. Deep in the heart of the countryside, shrouded by overgrown vegetation, there stood the remnants of a psychiatric hospital that had long been forgotten by time. The imposing structure, with its boarded-up windows and crumbling facade, bore witness to decades of tormented souls seeking refuge within its eerie confines. Locals spoke of the hospital in hushed tones, sharing tales of disturbed spirits that roamed the halls, trapped between this world and the next. It was a cold and moonless night when a group of paranormal investigators, drawn by the allure of the unknown, decided to unravel the mysteries that lay dormant within the forsaken hospital. Armed with an array of ghost-hunting equipment and fueled by skepticism, they entered the decaying building, unaware of the malevolent forces that awaited them. As they stepped into the dimly lit foyer, the air seemed to thicken with an oppressive energy. Shadows danced on the walls, and the silence was broken only by the occasional creaking of the dilapidated structure. The investigators pressed on, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls, each one pregnant with the weight of the hospital's tragic history. In the bowels of the building, they discovered patient records dating back to a time when the hospital operated under questionable practices. Tales of experimental treatments and unspeakable horrors inflicted upon the mentally ill sent shivers down their spines. It became evident that the hospital had served as a chamber of suffering, a place where the line between sanity and madness blurred into a ghastly tapestry. As the investigators delved deeper, strange occurrences began to unfold. Disembodied whispers echoed in the desolate corridors, and ghostly apparitions materialized in the corners of their vision. The temperature plummeted, and the investigators felt an unseen presence watching their every move. Yet, armed with their scientific instruments, they dismissed the supernatural as mere figments of an overactive imagination. It was in the long-forgotten psychiatric wards that the true horror manifested. The investigators, separated in the labyrinthine corridors, experienced a phenomenon that defied all logical explanation. Each member of the group reported encounters with entities that seemed to embody the anguish of the hospital's tortured past. Faces twisted in pain and hollow eyes stared into their souls, leaving an indelible mark on their psyches. As they regrouped, their skepticism waned, replaced by a growing sense of dread. The hospital seemed to come alive with an otherworldly energy, as if the tortured spirits sought retribution for the injustices committed against them. Electronic devices malfunctioned, and the investigators witnessed objects moving of their own accord, defying the laws of physics. In a final, chilling revelation, the investigators stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the hospital. Walls adorned with cryptic symbols and a lingering malevolence signaled a darker purpose. In the center of the room, a tattered diary lay open, chronicling the descent of a former hospital administrator into madness and malevolent practices. As they read the diary, an otherworldly wail reverberated through the corridors, and the investigators knew they had trespassed into a realm beyond their understanding. The building seemed to groan, as if exhaling the weight of decades of suffering. With a sense of urgency, the group retreated, haunted by the echoes of the hospital's tragic past. To this day, the paranormal investigators carry the scars of that night, forever changed by an encounter with a darkness that defies explanation. The abandoned psychiatric hospital, now reclaimed by nature, stands as a silent testament to the atrocities committed within its walls. The tale persists, passed down through whispered conversations, a warning to those who dare tread the line between the living and the dead. And so, the question lingers: what restless spirits still roam the desolate corridors of the forgotten hospital, seeking resolution for the unspeakable horrors that transpired within its decaying walls? In a quaint, forgotten town nestled between mist-covered hills, there stood an antique shop known for its peculiar and arcane artifacts. Amongst the dusty shelves and musty books, there rested an old, ornate frame containing a photograph that bore witness to a sinister secret. The photograph depicted a family, seemingly ordinary in every aspect, their smiling faces frozen in a moment of unbridled joy. Little did anyone know that this seemingly innocent image concealed a malevolent force that would transcend time itself. The photograph was acquired by the Jenkins family, unsuspecting in their quest for unique decorations to adorn their home. As the frame found its place on the mantelpiece, a sense of unease settled upon the household. Strange occurrences began to unfold, objects inexplicably moved, and whispers echoed through the halls when the house lay in the oppressive silence of the night. The Jenkins family initially dismissed these odd happenings as mere coincidences, attributing them to the quirks of an old house. However, as the days wore on, the unsettling events escalated. The once vibrant smiles in the photograph seemed to distort into sinister grins, and the eyes of the family members appeared to follow the observers, casting an unsettling gaze that seemed to penetrate the very soul. As the family delved into the photograph's history, they discovered a tale shrouded in tragedy. The family depicted in the image had met a grisly end, each member succumbing to a series of mysterious and untimely deaths. The patriarch, driven to madness by unseen forces, had committed unspeakable acts before meeting his own demise. It became evident that the photograph harbored a malevolent energy, a cursed relic that fed on the life force of those who dared possess it. Desperation set in as the Jenkins family sought to rid themselves of the cursed photograph. Attempts to destroy it proved futile, as the image inexplicably reappeared, unharmed, in its ornate frame. The malevolent force seemed to thrive on their fear, manifesting itself in increasingly terrifying ways, a phantom laughter that echoed through the halls, cold spots that sent shivers down their spines, and ghastly apparitions that lurked in the shadows. In a final, desperate act, the Jenkins family decided to seal the photograph away, locking it within a hidden compartment in the attic. The moment the photograph was concealed, an eerie silence descended upon the household. However, the sense of foreboding lingered, an invisible specter that cast a shadow over the Jenkins family's existence. Years passed, and the cursed photograph became a macabre legend in the town. The once happy Jenkins residence stood as a foreboding reminder of the inexplicable, with locals avoiding the property after dark, fearing the malevolent force that still whispered through the attic's hidden corners. The tale of the cursed photograph remains etched in the annals of the town's folklore, a cautionary reminder that some relics carry with them a darkness that transcends time and mortality. As for the Jenkins family, their once thriving home now stands as a haunting testament to the inescapable grip of the supernatural, a chilling narrative that continues to send shivers down the spines of those who dare to delve into the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of the living. Nestled within the craggy embrace of cliffs, the coastal town of Ravenshore bore witness to the mysterious and chilling events that unfolded upon its shores. Tales of a ghostly vessel, a phantom ship that materialized from the fog, had circulated among the locals for as long as anyone could remember. They spoke of a spectral crew, their eyes hollow and haunted, cursed to sail the seas for all eternity. The legend took root one fateful night when a thick blanket of fog enveloped the coastal waters, shrouding Ravenshore in an otherworldly haze. The air grew dense with an eerie stillness, and whispers carried on the breeze hinted at the impending arrival of the ethereal vessel. As the townsfolk peered into the mist, they saw the ghost ship emerging, its time-worn sails billowing in the spectral wind. The ship was a relic from another era, its wooden hull adorned with tattered remnants of long-forgotten flags. The creaking of its timbers echoed through the fog, a mournful symphony that sent shivers down the spines of those who bore witness to its ghostly procession. The townsfolk gathered on the cliffs, their faces pale as they beheld the apparition that glided through the waters with an otherworldly grace. Among the spectral crew, a figure stood at the helm, an imposing captain, his features obscured by a tattered tricorn hat and a cloak that billowed in the spectral breeze. His hollow eyes locked onto the shore, as if searching for something lost to the passage of time. The ship sailed silently, leaving a trail of ethereal mist in its wake, a haunting reminder of the unresolved mysteries that bound it to the mortal realm. In the days following each sighting, Ravenshore would be plagued by inexplicable occurrences. Unearthly wails echoed through the night, and a bone-chilling cold settled upon the coastal town. Some claimed to have glimpsed the ghostly crew wandering the shoreline, their footsteps leaving no trace in the sand. The air itself seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, as if the spectral visitation had left an indelible mark on the fabric of reality. Desperate to uncover the truth behind the ghost ship, a group of intrepid individuals from Ravenshore embarked on a perilous journey to the neighboring coastal archives. There, buried within the dusty tomes and weathered manuscripts, they unearthed accounts dating back centuries, tales of a cursed captain and his ill-fated crew, lost to the treacherous waters surrounding Ravenshore. The legend spoke of a maritime tragedy, a shipwreck obscured by the mists of time. The captain, consumed by grief and guilt over the lives lost under his command, was said to have made a pact with the supernatural, binding his soul and the souls of his crew to the cursed vessel. Their restless spirits, denied peace, sailed the seas in search of redemption, forever tethered to the haunting shores of Ravenshore. Armed with this newfound knowledge, the residents of Ravenshore faced a choice: to confront the ghostly apparition that haunted their coastal home or to live in perpetual fear of the spectral visitations. In a daring act of courage, the townsfolk gathered on the cliffs one moonlit night, prepared to confront the ghost ship and the tormented spirits that sailed within. As the clock struck midnight, the mist once again descended upon Ravenshore, and the ethereal glow of the ghost ship materialized in the fog. This time, however, the townsfolk stood united, their resolve unwavering in the face of the supernatural. A solemn silence hung in the air as the ghostly vessel drew near, its spectral crew peering ashore with eyes that held the weight of centuries. In a moment of spectral communion, the captain of the ghost ship and the town's residents exchanged glances that transcended the boundaries between the living and the dead. The air quivered with an energy that spoke of forgiveness and release. And then, as mysteriously as it had appeared, the ghost ship began to fade into the mist, its spectral form dissipating like morning dew beneath the first rays of dawn. Ravenshore, once haunted by the ghostly apparition, felt a profound calm settle upon its shores. The spectral wails were replaced by the soothing sound of waves, and the chilling air warmed to a gentle breeze. The legend of the ghost ship became a tale told to children, a story of a town that faced the supernatural and, through courage and understanding, found peace for the tormented souls that once sailed its haunted waters. And so, the tale of the ghost ship of Ravenshore lives on, a testament to the thin veil between the living and the dead, and a reminder that sometimes, in the face of the supernatural, courage and compassion can cast a light that banishes even the deepest shadows. The town of Blackthorn, nestled between rolling hills and ancient woods, was known for its picturesque charm. Yet, within the walls of an old estate that stood on the outskirts, a dark secret lay concealed. The mansion, abandoned for decades, held within its depths a mirror that had long been forgotten, a mirror rumored to be a portal to a realm where shadows held the souls of the curious captive. The tale begins when a curious historian named Evelyn, drawn by the allure of unraveling forgotten mysteries, stumbled upon records that hinted at the ominous reputation of the Blackthorn estate. Her intrigue led her to the mansion, where she discovered the mirror hidden away in a long-forgotten chamber. The ornate frame, tarnished with age, held a pristine surface that seemed to drink in the light, casting an unsettling aura. As Evelyn gazed into the mirror, the room seemed to darken, and a sense of foreboding enveloped her. Unbeknownst to her, the mirror was a vessel for shadows, ethereal entities that thrived on the curiosity of those who dared to peer into the reflective abyss. The shadows whispered forgotten secrets, seducing Evelyn into a trance-like state as she became entangled in their mysterious dance. In the following days, the townsfolk of Blackthorn noticed a change in Evelyn. Her once vibrant demeanor dulled, and an air of detachment surrounded her. Those who looked into her eyes glimpsed an unsettling darkness, a reflection of the shadows that had claimed her soul through the mysterious mirror. Rumors spread like wildfire through Blackthorn as more curious souls were drawn to the mansion, unable to resist the allure of the mirror of shadows. Each person who succumbed to its mesmerizing gaze fell prey to the shadows, their essence absorbed into the reflective surface, leaving behind an empty husk of their former selves. The town was gripped by a growing sense of dread as the shadows within the mirror seemed to multiply with each passing victim. Families mourned the loss of loved ones who had become entrapped in the spectral realm beyond the glass. Fear spread like a contagion, and the once charming town now bore the weight of a malevolent force that thrived on the curiosity and innocence of its inhabitants. A group of courageous townsfolk, united by the desperate need to break the curse, ventured into the mansion armed with ancient texts and artifacts. Their journey led them to the very chamber that housed the Mirror of Shadows. As they approached, the air thickened with an oppressive energy, and the shadows within the mirror seemed to writhe in anticipation. With a combination of incantations and sacred relics, the group attempted to sever the connection between the mirror and the spectral realm. The chamber echoed with unearthly wails as the shadows resisted, clinging to the souls ensnared within their grasp. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and the very foundation of the mansion seemed to tremble in protest. In a climactic moment, the mirror shattered, releasing an ethereal burst of shadows that dissipated into the air like smoke. The town of Blackthorn was left in stunned silence, the oppressive darkness lifting as the shadows dispersed. The curse that had plagued the town for so long had been broken, but the scars of the Mirror of Shadows lingered in the collective memory of Blackthorn. Evelyn, along with the other victims, returned to their lives, but the ordeal had left an indelible mark on their souls. The once charming mansion now stood as a somber reminder of the supernatural forces that lurked in the shadows, waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting. And so, the tale of the Mirror of Shadows became a cautionary legend in Blackthorn, a reminder that some mysteries are better left untouched, and that the allure of the unknown may lead to a darkness that threatens to consume both body and soul. The townsfolk, forever changed by the harrowing ordeal, whispered in hushed tones, wary of the reflective abyss that had nearly claimed their very essence. Deep within the heart of the Blackwood Forest, an old and twisted grove earned its ominous reputation as the Whispering Grove. Locals spoke of trees with limbs that contorted like gnarled fingers, their leaves rustling with voices from the beyond. The story began with a group of friends, adventurous souls seeking the thrill of the unknown, who decided to explore the mysteries concealed within the foreboding woodland. The friends, lured by the promise of an otherworldly encounter, ventured into the forest as daylight waned, casting long shadows among the ancient trees. The air thickened with an eerie stillness as they navigated through tangled undergrowth, guided only by the faint glow of the moon filtering through the dense canopy. As they delved deeper into the grove, the temperature plummeted, and the rustling leaves took on an unsettling cadence. Faint whispers echoed through the air, indistinct and ethereal, like the murmurs of spirits lingering between the gnarled branches. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, their excitement tempered by an unspoken unease that settled upon the group. In the heart of the Whispering Grove, they stumbled upon an ancient stone altar, encircled by twisted roots and surrounded by moss-covered tombstones. The air became charged with a palpable energy, and the whispers intensified, forming a spectral chorus that seemed to beckon the intruders closer. Unbeknownst to the friends, the grove had long been a site of mysterious rituals, a place where the veil between the living and the spectral realms was thin. Compelled by an unseen force, one of the friends, a skeptic named Alex, approached the stone altar. As Alex laid a hand upon the moss-covered surface, the whispers coalesced into distinct voices, recounting tales of ancient rites and the spirits bound to the grove. The shadows beneath the trees seemed to writhe, taking on ephemeral forms that danced in the moonlight. In a moment of profound curiosity, Alex uttered an incantation unwittingly gleaned from the spectral whispers. The grove responded with a surge of unearthly energy, and the friends were enveloped in a spectral fog that obscured their surroundings. The air became charged with a sense of foreboding, and the grove itself seemed to awaken to the presence of intruders disturbing its ancient sanctity. As the spectral fog lifted, the friends found themselves disoriented and isolated within the grove. The once familiar paths twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the heart of the ancient forest. Panic set in as they realized that the Whispering Grove defied the laws of space and time, its twisted pathways becoming a labyrinth that ensnared those who dared trespass into its sacred domain. The friends, haunted by the relentless whispers and the shadows that seemed to materialize from the ancient trees, struggled to find an escape. The spectral fog reappeared, and figures from the past manifested within its ethereal embrace, apparitions of long-lost souls bound to the Whispering Grove through ages of forgotten rituals. As the night wore on, the friends faced trials that blurred the line between the surreal and the supernatural. Time seemed to lose its meaning, and the boundaries between the living and the spectral became indistinct. The whispers intensified, narrating tales of sorrow and longing, as the grove sought to bind the intruders to its ancient mysteries. In a climactic moment, the friends stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an otherworldly glow. In its center stood a colossal, ancient oak, a guardian spirit of the Whispering Grove. The spirits of the grove converged, forming a spectral congregation that beckoned the friends to partake in an ancient ritual of communion. Compelled by an unseen force, the friends reluctantly participated in the ritual, each becoming a vessel for the spirit stories. The Whispering Grove, having shared its tales through the living conduits, released the intruders from its spectral embrace. The friends, now marked by the ancient grove's secrets, emerged from the blackwood forest as changed beings, forever haunted by the ethereal whispers that lingered in their minds. The tale of the Whispering Grove became a whispered legend among the locals, a cautionary story passed down through generations. The ancient grove, forever guarded by its spectral sentinels, continued to lure those who sought to unravel the mysteries concealed within its twisted embrace. The whispers persisted, echoing through the ages, a chorus of the forgotten souls bound to the Whispering Grove, a testament to the enduring power of the supernatural that defies mortal understanding.